Platchums!
Okay, trophy collection reviews. We're just going to go straight in. Everyone knows how this works at this point. And we're beginning with Beautiful Torment, which is a succinct summary of my life. So, we're starting off with a big lad, I think, here. 747 games played, 733 completed games, which gives him a beautiful completion rate of 99.26, which, for someone that has so many games on their account, is mightily impressive. This Beautiful Torment is beautifully consistent, I have to say. So welcome everyone. Hi, Dan.
Hi. Yeah, this is it's a bit of a big account to start with. I don't know how we'll get through this video.
Yeah.
747. Like the plane.
Is this the Boeing? He works for Boeing. Beautiful plug. So I think it's fair enough to say, like, with an account this big, this might be the biggest account we've reviewed, I think, in terms of just sheer volume of games.
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah.
And like you said, to keep having 99% completion rate at that level is pretty insane. And I'm just a quick scroll down there, and there is plenty of ultra rares to go with it.
Yeah, let me see. Oh, he's more ultra rares than some people have trophies. Oh, yes, God, yeah. And that beautiful, more uncommon than common. That's the hallmark of a good account, I think. It's kind of like,
I agree.
It's telling. So Beautiful Torment, I know them. Not know them, but it's just a PSN name that I've just seen for years. So let's just see if I got mad yet. First trophy 13 years ago.
Wow. 13 years ago was the anniversary, pretty much. Wasn't it? It was the 13th anniversary this week of trophies. Yeah. So they're probably rounding up a little bit there, are they?
Yeah, I think they round up, because I think it says like my first trophy was 13 years ago, but it was actually like late 2008, so it's not quite
so
there.
It's like about October.
Jeez, I'm sorry, I'm just scrolling to see all these arcade games. So look, we're not going to talk about every damn game on this list. We're more going to like try to break down the actual trophies, because like this will be here for 6 days, I think. So we're just gonna, like, maybe for me, I don't know, Dan, how you want to tackle this big project, but I think maybe just cherry pick the kind of highlights or ones that really, really, really stand out, because I mean, just what can you really say other than like just the fact that it's so, like, such a high completion rate. It's a OG account, Beautiful Torment, as I said, just so consistent throughout the years, and just like over 1,000, like almost 1,500 ultra rares. Like this is not, a typical account. This is like,
yeah, and you can see that, like, even from the PSN stats there,
let's go
25,000 views on his profile alone.
People know him.
Yeah, I know he's definitely a presence in the trophy community for a reason. He's obviously a highly respected trophy hunter for a long time, and
the average rarity is 36.98.
So even the average rarity is insane.
That's telling, because you've seen people with a lot of ultra rares, but somehow the average rarity wouldn't be that low, which sometimes is quite odd.
Yeah, because they're bringing, like, even you get one ultra rare and then you completely water it down by getting one 15-minute platinum. So it shows that it's not that kind of account.
Yeah,
it's
quality over
quantity.
And
quantity.
Yeah,
and quantity.
Like number 65 in Canada. That's no small feat. And top 2,000 in the world. So look, let's just start scrolling.
The first thing that pops out to me is just for interest is the 1,000 top rated is the first game on his list, and it's also it was removed from the the PS Store. I believe it's what Slide is now. That game Slide where you just do like one puzzle and you get the platinum. I believe it's like the same game but under a different name, and it was removed from the store.
Okay.
So it's kind of a piece of trophy history, because it was one of those super easy games that was one of the first of the really, really, truly easy games.
Plus, it's a cool first game to have when you list your game alphabetically. It's like...
It is, yeah. The name is pretty cool, and he's close to getting 1,000 games too. So
yeah, maybe just stop at 1,000. First of all, just Alien Isolation, just because I simply need to play that game. I'm okay. We've got Arcade Archives times 1,000,000 here, so I think there seems to be a trend. I don't know if you see it, Dan, or if I'm just connecting dots in a way that don't make sense, that they're not actually connective.
I think I know what you're going to say, so I think I see the same dots.
But yeah, these super elite lists that we've come across so far, it seems like a lot of them are older gamers that have their roots firmly in like 80s arcades and like early 90s. Because I think the transferable skills, if I can borrow a business term, from the world of the arcade, God, it lends itself well to trophy hunting. Jesus, it does. Yeah. Because some of those arcade games were relentless and unforgiving. So I just find it funny to see, obviously, BeautifulTorment has a fondness. I'm assuming maybe a bit on the older side. No offense. No, I'm just gauging from the list. So that's always something that I find quite fascinating. That's... arcade rats would definitely gravitate towards trophies.
I'm trying to count and I lost count there. It looks like there's possibly about 50 games that begin with arcade. Mm-hmm. So that does tell you all you need to know. It's definitely an observable trend that we've seen, where people who are who have really impressive trophy lists often gravitate towards the arcade style. So there's a clear correlation there, and I think most people, like even myself, who started gaming kind of in the mid 90s, I even think those games were a lot more challenging than today. But then the games from my childhood don't hold a candle to the games that were out in, like Contra and all the side-scrolling beat-em-ups and arcade shooters. Like those games were brutal, and they were supposed to be brutal because they made people pay for them.
That's the thing. You weren't out money every time you failed in like Metal Gear or something. It wasn't. It was like change disc was the most inconvenient thing, or like trying to find Mero's codec number. It wasn't like you die and it's like insert coins. So a lot of Call of Duty games at 100%. So I think that just deserves a slight highlight here. Crazy mix of genres, franchises, all the Dark Souls. Yep, pretty much all the Dark Souls. Not surprising. And even Dante's Inferno. It's a game you don't see too often. I know you have it on your list. And at 100% as well.
It was one of those standout games from the kind of early PS3 era that was like a God of War clone. In that age where there was a lot of God of War clones, the hack and slash. But I think it did something very unique. It had a really interesting, obviously, story to tell from the book, but also it just, it set itself apart. It had solid gameplay. I enjoyed it a lot.
Didn't the demons speak Irish as well?
I don't know. I can't remember. It probably did, but my Irish is so atrocious that I wouldn't have probably known anyway.
They're all from Dublin. Like, who can kill ya? So 4 Dead Nations, but you have to earn them. You can't stack them. There's no save file scum in there. Dead Space Extraction, a platinum that I think you've let go. I think you've let it go.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Quite recently he did that.
I got it up to, like, I had it at 20% for like 8 years, and I got it up to like nearly 50 or 60, like 55 or something. And I to be honest, I didn't really enjoy it. I said it to you that I would class it as potentially the worst game on my entire list.
Damning assessment.
Yeah, I suppose I always enjoyed Time Crisis, House of the Dead games like that in the arcade.
But that's the novelty of the arcade, though. You had the plastic gun, and it was a pew 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 pew. You know, like it's not the same in the living room alone at midnight.
Exactly.
You know, it's
nah.
And it's been like 30. You know, it's
true. I do remember fondly the having the light gun for the PS1 for Time Crisis. I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
And it was a brutal game as well. But I enjoyed that quite a lot. But you know, using the DualShock and the Move or the Move for Dead Space Extraction, it just didn't work. And I found that every mission was super slow, and you'd have to sit through so much dialogue to get into the next section. If you missed a
collectible, it was such a gut punch. Now, I have the plat.
Yeah.
But I think it was when I was playing it, I had finished most of like the PS3 games, and I was very much in like cleanup mode, and I like loaded it up, not really knowing what it was. I thought it was like DLC. I didn't have internet, okay, so I didn't look it up, but I just saw it came with Dead Space 2. And I remember being quite like taken aback at like just the style of it, the fact it's, you know, an on-rail shooter. And even back then, I'm like, wow, this is so old school. But yeah, look, ultimately we won't talk about Dead Space Extraction. We both have our stories to tell with that, but you've moved past it. So all 3 Demon Souls.
Yeah, which is something that I definitely wanted to do, as I've been tempted to do quite a lot, is pick up the 2 other regions, because you know, like I said in our last video, it's possibly my favorite PS3 game ever, so I would love to replay it again. Of course I replayed it again on the PS5 just the end of last year, but yeah, you know, it's an impressive game to see.
I'm still flicking. Okay, Doom, the remake of Doom, or the newer Doom, Doom 3 BFG edition, great platinum. I think that's a very underrated platinum, and I say that because I have it, so I just want to get a little cheeky ego stroke in there. Doom 64, so yeah, like this is very much rooted in like arcades, so Dungeons and Dragons, and it's like almost like Beautiful Torment's played everything. Fear 2, that was one of them on the PS3 generation that was like, oh, you're a legend if you platinum this. You know, it was kind of like, you know, Far Cry or Lost Planet, or, you know, one of those where it was like, oh my god, you know. And Warhawk was always another one. That was like the ultimate like time sink platinum on the PS3. Fall Guys got the platinum in May. We all know what you did there.
Let's see, because it's May 31st. So it definitely was after the glitch. Just quickly checking. The 13th of May. Oh, that sounds about right.
Have I made a terrible accusation against Beautiful Torment here?
No, I think you're right. I think the 13th of May lines up that it was.
No shame in it, man. No shame.
Yeah, I think so. I'm just checking my own, but yeah, I'd say possibly, you know, getting wind of the, it would have been, because I got mine on the 14th, and I definitely didn't get it the first day. So, that sounds about right.
FIFA 09. You and him share this pain.
Oh no, are you serious?
That is just painful torment right there. Because that's the only, if for anyone that doesn't know, that's Dan's only like, that's I guess sports game or FIFA game anyway. And yeah, FIFA 09. So it's safe to say that's definitely unobtainable at this point.
I feel like we share some kind of like link now, me and Beautiful Torment.
A bond forever.
Like this, obviously my account is garbage in comparison to his, but just to see such a beautiful account being tarnished by FIFA 09.
You both have the same stain on your soul.
Exactly. Because like I love my account personally. Like I'm really proud of my games on there.
You should be. It's a great account.
Except for FIFA 09.
Do you remember I helped you get some trophies in it though to bump it up? Because like I have quite a few FIFA platinums, although to be fair, I won't be buying it for the foreseeable future. I normally got it like biannually, but I stopped. Like I just, I was a manager mode person personally, like that's, and I didn't mind, you know, getting the occasional online trophies, but the onus just became so about Ultimate Team that it started just to taint it, because for me it's still like FIFA's FIFA. You know what you're going to get. I didn't give the money every single year, but it's still one of the very few reliable co-op games that you can like rely on. If friends come over, have a beer, and like, you know, the kind of non-gamery friends that still love a game of FIFA. So
exactly,
and it is like I just enjoy it, you know. But you and Beautiful Torment share.
We're like blood brothers or something. That's that's rough. I'm sorry, man. That's
yeah,
that's not good.
FIFA 10 is my stain with the DLC. But this deserves a mention anyway. Final Fantasy. I think he's caught them all.
Yeah, and he has the very, very illustrious Final Fantasy 14 plat and the 100% in Final Fantasy 15, which is extremely impressive.
Yeah, just saw it there.
So he's got Type O, he's got Final Fantasy 9. I don't have either of those two, so I have to get on those. He hasn't played the remake yet. Maybe a purist, Final Fantasy 7 purist, possibly.
Yeah, I'm working on that at the moment, and I actually bought Final Fantasy 10 and 10-2 that I intend just to have on the Vita as like a mammoth side project, you know. But no, that's super impressive. That's a huge time sink. You know, a lot of them, you know, require, you know, just a lot of work. But obviously, you're a big fan of Final Fantasy. Someone of taste. Just kind of skimming down here. Okay, God of War seems to be another passion. Chains of Olympus.
A lot of 100% as well. So like not just, you know, going for the platinum, going for a lot of 100%.
I understand the disease. So GTA 4.
GTA 4,
and 100%. 5, the PS3 version. And Vice City, but no San Andreas or GTA 3. I find that bizarre, given like the pattern emerging from the profile, bit of an old school gamer. I would have thought, you know, some love shown to what is considered one of the greatest games of all time. If you played, and since San Andreas is easier than, it's longer than Vice City, but it's more of a straightforward trophy list. And same again as GTA 3, like that's very straightforward. So maybe you know, complete the GTA set. Just I cannot be recommending Beautiful Torment anything. Just the skill levels are so different, but that would be one thing. Maybe just complete that set.
San Andreas is definitely my favorite of the series. I suppose it kind of came out just at like, I don't know, the peak of my adolescence or something, and it just ticked all the boxes for me, you know, as an edgy teenager.
I loved San Andreas. You should really replay it, because it's actually shocking how well it's aged. And I mean that in the sense that it's very easy to kind of slip back into it, and the level design, it still feels so much bigger than GTA 5, even though like the map is infinitely smaller. It's just,
in my head it's so much bigger than GTA 5 from what I remember.
But like I replayed it 2017, I think, when I got the plat, which is already like 4 years ago, but it would have been like 13 years removed from its release. So I was actually amazed just how still there's so many features in that game that never really made it to like the later games in the series or in any other series, namely like the body modification. You could be fat and ripped. Like the car customization was great, and just the three cities and the desert, and that like the way it just kind of entered into cities and the little villages. GTA 5 Los Santos is breathtaking, but it's such a lopsided map.
It is, like, it feels like there's only one main area in the map.
Yeah, and it's just like down, like at the bottom, and I just think like Mount Chiliad is probably supposed to be the counterweight to that. Oh, look at this massive point of interest at the top and the bottom. But for me, it doesn't really. Everything kind of always naturally goes down towards the south of the map, and I just feel like it just needed like another city or another massive town up at the top, or even just to the northwest or something to kind of anchor it a bit or spread that out. So
as a bit of a side point, I saw that supposedly for GTA 6 there's going to be some type of kind of evolving map in a similar style to Fortnite. So that's interesting. You know, I can see how it could definitely work, and I'd always give Rockstar my confidence, you know.
Yeah.
So
depends
we'll
with
see
Sam
how that
Heiser
goes.
being gone. Like it's hard to tell tonally without like they've lost a lot of the bit of a brain drain that's happened at Rockstar over the course of the past couple of years. But I'm still going to approach with an open mind. It's just so bizarre that it's been like 8 years since GTA 5. Like that. Like I'm pretty sure Rockstar. I know. Okay, we'll go back to your list in a second, but I'm pretty sure Rockstar have enough resources to work on at least 2 games at a time without, like, they own so many studios. I know those big games require a lot of manpower and all that. I get it, but it's just incomprehensible to me that they haven't been, you know, working on it in some vein for, like, a number of years. But maybe they only just started once they finished Red Dead 2. I don't know what to believe anymore, but, regardless, we'll go forward. Hotline Miami 2 is missing.
It's missing, yeah.
Just
You know, like to be honest,
not missing.
I wouldn't say it's like I wouldn't say like it. I think it's an excellent game, but I think Hotline Miami is in itself, it does everything that it needs to do, and Hotline Miami 2 tried to, you know, bring in maybe more of a storyline, and it had, you know, different characters and branching paths and all this and time going back and forth and stuff. The story was pretty good, actually, I thought, for Hotline Miami 2, but it was a bit confusing the first time I played it. But just the level design in that game was like too ambitious, I thought.
It was... I would argue it was just poorly designed. I think the mechanics of 1, it was just so frenetic and it was just so compact. And that kind of led itself up to that fast respawn where you're just straight back to kind of where you were. Hotline Miami 2, the pacing felt weird because, as you said, like the levels were just too big. And then there was an awful lot of like off-screen deaths, almost where like you don't know where it's coming from. Particularly, I forget which one it was. I think it's like level 7.
It was the army one.
Army one, yeah.
When you're back in Vietnam
exactly,
or something.
And that was that was just frustrating because it really felt like it was just designed to frustrate or just poorly thought through. But the first game, I would say, in terms of like indie games or, you know, lesser known games, it's still just as close to like a simple masterpiece. It does one thing, and God, it does it well.
One game I just want to quickly highlight that we just passed is just because it's kind of telling, is Genshin Impact, because Genshin Impact was out on the PS4 and it didn't have a platinum. It just had 100% and then some DLC.
Oh yes. And then they added the platinum on PS5. That's so annoying.
Exactly.
That's so annoying.
But you can see, like, because this account isn't an account that like auto pops plats, but they did for Genshin. But the reason why that happened, and a platinum in 1 second, I don't think I've ever seen that, actually. But
I love that SSD speed.
Yeah, to just pop everything at once. But I'm kind of in a similar dilemma with Destiny 2, because I want to play Destiny 2 on the PS5, but I don't want the auto pop plat. And that's obviously the same for BeautifulTorment with Genshin, because it's a game that they obviously really enjoy to play anyway. And then the only way to play it on the PS5 is with that auto pop, unfortunately, if you want to keep your character alive, you know, and bring over everything, which is one of the things, like, that obviously I think it's so unimportant for Sony to consider the trophy hunters auto pop platinums, you know,
they're probably like,
tiny
but
percentage.
you're getting more trophies, like, why you can play
like,
but then it's like, you just don't get it, it has to be a pure list, okay?
So I feel that just with Destiny 2 for myself, but I think, you know, there's absolutely, like, I think it makes a lot of sense to auto pop a game like that, because you want to play the game you enjoy on the PS5. And you shouldn't be worried about getting an auto pop for that, really.
To keep it pure.
Yeah, the only problem with it is that then like you've got a Genshin Impact Platinum, and it probably, if you started from fresh, that Platinum is probably going to be like a couple hundred hours minimum, and the Platinum rarity is like 9.5% because everyone had done it on PS4 already,
I can imagine him just, when he's about to load it up going, okay, I could get this in 1 second or 400 hours.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's you can't start an MMO again, there's just, it doesn't work.
No, I think, fair enough, you earned it.
Yeah.
Like, you earned
that's
it.
how I'd view that one.
So I'm down a Killzone. So I find
cool.
I've never seen this where someone is 100% Killzone 3 and then also the Killzone 3 multiplayer, the separate list.
I didn't even realize there were separate lists.
Yeah,
I didn't remember that at all.
Just the multiplayer. I think I've only seen this twice. This is the second time I've seen someone with that list.
And then again for Shadowfall for the Intercept DLC, I didn't realize that was its own list.
Yeah,
it
looks a bit bizarre. Labyrinth Legends is an ultra rare 100%, and Knit Underground. So I'm just
that Knit Underground one is kind of notoriously obtuse. The trophy list gives away very little, and all the trophies have ridiculous requirements.
All the little big planets, including the go-karting, Lollipop Chainsaw. My God, that takes me back. Lovers.
That's a game that I kind of like to see. I think Lollipop Chainsaw, it's never one that I played because I remember the reviews weren't like super amazing for it when it came out. Kind of was like below average. But I think it would be a very interesting like time capsule game because I don't think it's the kind of game that would fly in today's climate at all.
I think it's kind of like the last gasping breath of like, the Leisure Suit Larry stuff. Like that kind of stuff, like American Pie style video games. But I can see you've got another sports game staying here, Madden NFL 10, but you do have the Platinum. So I think as soon as you get the Platinum, the 100% is something else. I understand that with FIFA 10. So actually, I take that back. It's not a stain. You have the Platinum. That's good enough.
Yeah.
Magicka 2, which I'm sure you appreciate.
I really enjoyed that game.
I'm flicking through only Peace Walker.
Ooh, the alarm bells go for you.
Only Peace Walker, which is admittedly a stellar game, great game, and it's one that I would love to play with you, Dan, because it's actually, you can play the whole story in co-op, which I thought was going to be in 5, which would have made it a lot better, but regardless. But only Peace Walker and Ground Zeroes. This is some hipster shit right here. This is some hipster shit.
This is gonna fly. No, not
That's
for you.
not gonna fly, man. What is this? What are you trying to prove? It's like, I play Metal Gear, but only Peace Walker and Ground Zeroes. What the hell, man?
He's made up for it with 2 instances of 100% Minecrafts, which is very impressive.
Oh no, you could have spent those 5 years just getting in Minecraft, maybe playing the mainline Metal Gear games. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say in that.
Maybe when Metal Gear Solid 1 inevitably gets some type of a rework. We have to at one point. I know it's coming, but however many years that might take, it would be nice.
Even if they just port the Twin Snakes at this point, I just want to have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 and I have Peace Walker just on the list, just complete the set. I probably should have done Metal Gear Rising, but I own it. I got on PlayStation Plus, but maybe at some point. So we're flicking through here.
Some NBA games, or so the preludes. I know that the mainline NBA games have absolutely ridiculous trophy requirements, like sickeningly ridiculous. So much so that some of the platinums in the NBA games are rarer than Crypt of the Necrodancer.
Jeez, that's crazy. I'm just looking like there's even like, lesser known games like Portal Knights here, like super ultra rare. Prince of Persia: Sands of Time. Will be up there. It'll probably make the top 20 of my PS2 games, to be fair, even though I didn't care much for the other later entries like Warrior Within and stuff, and Forgotten Sands had a great art style, but the Sands of Time just as a standalone was truly fantastic.
I liked it a lot on the PS2 when it came out. Yeah, I thought it was an interesting
many
game.
ultra rares.
Yeah,
My
all
God.
the Ratchet and Clanks,
Yeah.
got Rayman Origins.
Red Dead 1. 100%.
No 2.
No 2, huh?
Yeah, that's
No 2.
that's. I would say that's a pretty big omission, just because I loved it so much. Now I don't think everyone has to love Red Dead 2, but if you're looking for a great game to play, I don't think you can go wrong with Red Dead 2.
To be fair though, I'd say Beautiful Torment. He's too well versed in the realm of trophy hunting. I think Beautiful Torment would know that. Oh shit, that's a commitment. So maybe
I don't think he's afraid of commitment either, though. Here.
Yeah, but Red Dead 2, at this point, maybe based on our estimation, might be on the bit on the older side. Maybe it's time to lay down the mantle. Because it's been like 13 years of insane trophy hunting, and I can imagine, I can understand that. You might not have as much time, and maybe play it on an alt account. But
possibly, yeah, exactly.
2 Resi 5s, you put yourself through that multiplayer twice. Jesus. Jesus.
Resi 6.
And Resi 6.
A game that I'm definitely going to try and go back to at some point.
Where's Resi 2, man? And Resi 1?
Yeah.
If you could put yourself through Resi 5's multiplayer twice, surely you can dedicate some time to Resi 2.
That's the problem with these lists, is because they're just so amazing that we then end up going like, oh, where's this game that we should have put in here?
I'm only being mean.
I'm
only being mean because I'm so jealous. Like Mr. Like 7 plats this year, like.
It's unfortunately one of the kind of the downfalls of when we do a review, is that sometimes when the list is just so good, we're kind of looking for things to say, and then these like omissions kind of become talking points. It's like having the encyclopedia and then missing like a word in there, and you're like, where's that word gone?
There's quite a nice list of 100% like plats like Shank 2 and Shatter. Again, just like I just say, as we're kind of scrolling through here, like it's just truly extraordinary. Just the mix, just it's obvious. It almost doesn't need to be stated, but I mean, you've got just a mix of like classic games, the arcade stuff, the massive RPGs, even some sports games sprinkled in. Like it's rare enough that you'd see even like 1 or 2 on a list that has like every single Final Fantasy. So it's just really just so Starhawk. Ooh, Jesus.
Yeah, it's got everything in there. It's you mentioned, I think you mentioned Starhawk earlier even.
No, Warhawk.
Warhawk. Yeah.
Terminator Salvation, a classic.
That was back into 2010 as well. So back at the kind of height of it, when a 19-hour platinum was considered,
easy, like
easy. That was considered potentially one of the easiest platinum trophies in 2010, and nowadays a 19-hour platinum is like, wow.
Fair, geez, you put the time in.
The time in.
Even games like The Darkness 2. I only played The Darkness 1. Ended up just watching it. It was what was it? Kill a Mockingbird that was on the TV at the start of that, where you can watch the whole movie if you just don't move your character.
There was no trophy.
There is no trophy list, but I always kind of the second game kind of slipped through me.
There was a lot of really good games out actually at the start of the PS3 that missed out on trophy lists.
Yeah,
I remember playing the Darkness and Condemned as well. I really liked that game.
So we're kind of down. I'm down here trying to Two Worlds 2, a game you don't see too often that you have.
Yeah, I don't have the DLC for it though, so that's pretty cool. It's 100%.
100%. And
Uncharted.
Oh no, wait, it's the remake. I thought it was the PS3 version. Still great.
There's
100%.
both.
Where? Uncharted 2. Oh.
Yeah.
Not Uncharted 3 though.
Yeah, Uncharted 3 is pretty exceptional when it comes to the DLC.
Then like Unravel. Oof. Okay, we're just gonna.
Yeah, we're kind of at the end now.
Yeah.
Wolfenstein. We've got Wolfenstein 1 3 times, and The Old Blood. and
Wonder Boy.
Ziggurat. That's a cool game actually. It's like first person roguelite. And
YS Memories of Zeta. That was a game that I was kind of tempted to get on my Vita, but I opted not to.
There's definitely some good Vita games
Yeah,
in there too.
great
That's
mix.
something we didn't
Vita
really
games.
touch
Okay,
on.
so look.
So I'm just gonna go into the stats.
Yeah,
really
we'll
quick.
go into the stats here. I'm gonna break my finger. It takes so much effort to scroll all the way back up. Stats here. So as I said, the average rarity is like truly fantastic.
Yeah.
Like anything like under 45, I think is pretty damn good. But I think once you hit below 40, you're in that like
below 40s. It's pretty
that's
insane.
like that's crazy, especially with so many games. Like that's
733 completed games,
and like
that is
perfectly
incredible.
Balanced, nice looking split between the bronze, silver, gold, and plat, and just always just trickling along as far back as November 08. That's around the time of my trophy, so we share that link. We obviously created the account around the same time. Obviously goes to bed. We
shared the link of.
I think only sleeps at 9 o'clock. No trophies earned at 9. 9 a.m. is just off limits.
9 a.m.
The trophies by time.
Oh yeah, I see that. Yeah. 6 trophies earned at 9 a.m.
Oh, was there 6?
6, yeah. It just doesn't appear there. You have to hover on it. A weekend gamer as well. Heavily weekend.
Yeah.
So actually, yeah. And it's funny. That seems to be the case with most people except me, and I have trophies on like every day except Saturday and Sunday.
I think I'm like fairly even. I'm going to just quickly go to mine.
But yeah,
fairly even. Saturday a bit skewed there. Yeah.
What can we say about this list? Like over 5 trophies a day for 13 years nearly, with over 700 games. Like it's definitely one of the most impressive accounts I've seen.
Yeah. I would just call it beautiful. It's just beautiful.
Yeah, it is. There's no torment there.
There's no torment. Except for me thinking I will never have an account this good. So look, we only attacked you because we love you and we're so jealous. But like, man,
if we do like a Dragon Ball Z kind of fusion thing to combine our accounts, we're still at like half his power level.
We must combine. Yeah, no, that's pretty insane. So look, excellent account. There's not really a whole lot more we can say. Excellent apart from the hipster choices in regards to the Metal Gear Solid series, but I think given the rest of the list, I can forgive it. I can forgive it. Yeah. I don't condone it, but I can forgive it. So we'll move on to microsamm. Forward ever, backward never. A good mantra, except if you're face to face with a polar bear.
As we often might be
in Ireland, just so German gamers. So this is a
kind of newer account, definitely. About 2 years, over 2 years old.
Gee, it's crazy how fast people can build up these accounts. Like that's more plats than I have.
Yeah,
in like 13.
8 trophies a day.
Oof! Wow, that's crazy. So we have a Deutsch Spieler. So we're going to start. This is not as dense as BeautifulTorment, but I think if we didn't look at BeautifulTorment, we'd go, this is quite a dense account, like over 200 games. Like
96% as well.
Yeah,
completion
and
rate
96%, and that's quite a lot of views. So people are looking. So we'll see what we're working with. 40 ultra rares. So it's a bit less geared towards ultra rares, as you might see some new accounts these days, because that's kind of vogue, isn't it? It's kind of in style to create a new account. So we'll kind of see.
I think definitely people who have older accounts are at a slight advantage when it comes to ultra rares, because a lot of PS3 games are ultra rare, just by virtue of, I suppose, maybe the community was smaller back then and there was more players.
Not many as people that were into trophies, but there were still loads of people playing these games. So I think that... Yeah. And I think as well, like the PS3, it was such a Wild West era for trophies. Like there's some trophy types that just have not made the transition to PS4, that they lived and died on the PS3, because I feel like achievements and trophies were still figuring out, okay, what are reasonable trophies to put in like a game's list, and like some games were just mental in terms of like the requirements, and like remember the PSN wasn't as stable as it is now. Like online game servers, you know, would have a lot more issues with lag and like just, you know, the ping and stuff. So,
and you had to pay for online if you bought a game secondhand, oftentimes, with all that crap about you know, online passes that they were trying to make a thing, which thankfully died.
Yeah, thankfully. So we'll have a look.
Trophy cabinet, we've got the X Factor, which is pretty cool.
He's got a set. Microsamm has a set of, you know, golden pipes as well. It'll be the type of platinum I could never get. So obviously, it's okay. An awful lot of driving games in the trophy cabinet. So I'm guessing, you know, someone that might drive around and when it stops at a traffic light just belts out a beautiful song.
Yeah.
In his beautiful voice in his sports car. That's how I envisage microsamm getting around the world. So I'm just going to scroll down here. Kind of more, I wouldn't say obscure, but some indie games here at the start.
You got PS5 with Astro's Playroom as one of the kind of first games.
It seems to be the rite of passage when you get a PS5. It's like you need to get the, you know, the Astrobot's Platinum. It's just what you got to do.
Well, as it happens, my kids almost have the Astrobot's Platinum. We're very close. We have a few miscellaneous trophies to get. The only one that they don't have pretty much is shooting the rabbits at the end
of one of the stages. To do it.
They won't, and I was like trying to get the trophy for them, and they're like, no, don't.
You're trying to teach your kids to shoot the rabbits. Kill the kids. Don't you want the platinum?
And they were like, no, they're baby rabbits, and I was like, yeah, but the trophy.
I'll do it myself.
Maybe I'll sign in one day on their account and I'll do it. But they don't have it linked to the PSN, you know, because they're not old enough.
Yeah.
But but my point is that even they can get the Astrobots.
So yes, microsamm, even a young child could get that platinum.
Well, it's a great game. Like I've been having a lot of fun playing it with them. It's like such a great experience.
I'm looking forward to playing it myself. If I ever get a PS5 at this rate.
So many Easter eggs and just the quality. It's such a polished game.
But quite a lot of very easy trophies. I'm guessing that this is a mix of like Radalika and just, you know, other sort of indie games.
Well, it would be very, very hard to get, you know, like the best part of 200 platinums in 2 years without going for some easier games.
Yeah,
you know?
It kind of makes sense. One away from the Fall Guys plat here. I'm going to assume, win 20 episodes. So you got the 5 in a row.
Very, very close then to getting
14th of May. We all know what you did then.
Same again as myself. Very close to getting the platinum there, and that'll be. I know that actually as we're recording, there's a new event called like Hoverboard or something. It's supposed to be very easy to pick up wins in that. So
okay, not too bad. So we're
probably be over by the time this is out.
So we're working on again like quite a few. Okay, we've got a Guitar Hero Metallica that's been started. Our last trophy was in April 2021. There are people playing this game in 2021. Recent player, one recent player. That's some hardcore Metallica fan right
that
there.
In itself is like a relic of the past, you know, the peripherals and the guitar
again
stuff.
This just doesn't exist on this generation, really. Like it just, and like it's got Warriors of Rock. I can also see like another goddamn legendary game in Hannah Montana that was played in March 2020. Two recent players. A guy called
was like-
Saza T93 and Colford Esquire.
Yeah, that's like the poshest name for someone.
Only 15,000 people have the game on their list according to PSN profiles.
And yeah, it's microsamm played it March 2020, which was kind of like the start of lockdown for a lot of people.
Starting lockdown with Hannah Montana, that could not be a good way to start it.
Well, it's all up from there, really, isn't it? After that, so
It was your lowest point.
it's all up from Hannah Montana.
It's like, I'm going to be locked in for 6 months in quarantine. I'm going to play some Hannah Montana. So we've got, again, just a really nice lineup of S ranks here. All, again, verging on the easier side. And then something like Limbo pops up. Life is Strange. Great games.
Great games, yeah.
Got Megamind as well. That's a relic, a game that I haven't seen in years.
Megamind, yeah. I never saw that movie, actually.
Neither did
and I'm usually pretty good on animated kind of. I think that's a Universal one, isn't it, rather than a Pixar one?
Yeah. I've caught like glimpses of. So we're kind of getting into like the old racing games here. You can see Need for Speed, Need for Speed Shift, our Church Halloween, few stackings there. I can see. Not actually. It's kind of it's interesting to see that there's not too much stacking involved here.
There's very little stacks, yeah. Often with some of the easier games, you see like multiples of the same one, but that doesn't seem to be the case here.
No, that's interesting. Like that's actually something that you don't see too often on these newer accounts. I think like to be honest, you can probably get a lot out of that, because to me, I suppose I wouldn't see the appeal of playing the same bad game 4 times, but I don't think I could see the appeal of trying out bad games, because sometimes they can be, it could be like watching a really bad movie that's so bad it's good, but a lot of these smaller indie games, even though we don't know them and they give a really quick easy platinum, like a lot of them have a lot of quality and a lot to offer, because behind them is a developer with a passion, who's put a lot into the game. So a lot of these smaller games can be pretty good experiences, kind of contained. Maybe not like games that you come back to all the time or ever, possibly. But some of them, like, for maybe a few quid, if they cost like 1 or 2 quid or $2, it's not a bad price to play for a game that you might get an hour out of. Yeah, they're like, it's almost like starting to blend in with the mobile market, that they have. They probably have just their time and place for a lot of people, and they can offer, a good bit of, variety or whatever. But to be fair, something like Ziggy, a fart for Melusina, would be a game that I'd possibly avoid personally. Even though that's one of the harder plats in terms of like the easy ones. But
Sagebrush, I often say, is actually a really good experience.
You do, yeah.
Like, it's just for anyone who doesn't know, it's a game where it's a first-person game where you walk around an abandoned cult complex that's been like burnt out, and you're just walking around, kind of interacting with things and picking up objects, and there's like a short, kind of concise story in there, and I thought it was great. Like I finished in
very surprised by it.
Similar time frame, it took me like just under about 2 hours or so, but it was a really enjoyable like evening of playing a game that kind of said what it needed to say, and so that's kind of back to my point that a lot of these smaller games, even though they offer like super easy platinums and they're maybe really short and we don't know anything about them, a lot of them can be fun and they can offer quite a lot, or even just a small, quick, enjoyable experience.
That's fair.
We spend eight quid on going to the cinema sometimes, so what's 2 quid for 2 or 3 hours of playing a game?
And a plat at the end of it. So you have something for life with that. But it's funny, all these Rock Band 2 and now the Beatles Rock Band, all like pretty recently you started these. I don't know if they're still obtainable, but it's funny that considering the completion rate and stuff, that you would start such games like this. Got an X Factor done in a week. Boom, just those golden
Simon
pipes.
Cowell. Just
Well,
approves.
that was shit. So there's a lot of world rallies here, Wreckfest, and we're at the bottom here. So I'm just gonna go into the stats here to get
Yeah, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 racing games in a row there with WRC and Wreckfest. So like you said earlier, that's there's definitely like a lot of racing, a lot of musical games as well, which is maybe the two kind of standout genres there. So you're looking at I wanted to see, there's 40 ultra rare trophies. I wanted to see where they come from. One from Limbo, Without Dying. You know, I know that's a trophy that eludes a lot of people who play that game.
I love Limbo. Limbo's fantastic.
Yeah, some from Rock Band, some from Guitar Hero, some from the City Skylines DLC as well. Rayman Legends. Rayman Legends is actually, it's a really tricky platinum, considering that you have to do those events, those daily events where you have to score really well in them. So that's a pretty impressive one. Yes. And he's due the Fall Guys ultra rare platinum very shortly.
All the ultra rares came within the past year.
Yes.
So it's kind of more recent, particularly in April, I think, with just the music games and stuff. So it's kind of interesting to see that. So I'm just going at the stats. So it's average completion of 68, and you can see the vast majority of the points come from gold. So that does signify, an awful lot of very, very easy games are on this list. More golds and silvers, which is another kind of marker of just it's a lot of kind of Radalika or easy games here, but there's still some good platinums and trophies thrown in there.
And a 68% rarity, which as we said earlier, it does kind of signify that. But when you look at the impressive stuff here, with like a 96% completion, a great array of games, and like we highlighted, no stacking, which is which I can imagine is very tempting for someone to do in a lot of cases as well. Trophies by day, this is extremely skewed to the weekend, so business by day,
and a little bit on Friday. Friday evening.
Friday evening, yeah.
So yeah, overall, like, it is what it is, this list. I wouldn't place it in one of the best lists we've seen in terms of the games, but there's still like a lot to like about it. As you said, completion rate, there's a great amount of like racing games and stuff, which is an art form I wouldn't be able to to partake in or be able to get like the platinums and all of them. So I would say maybe my only advice would be to maybe it needs a few bulkier games in here.
Yeah, there's a lot of kind of like PlayStation best of games.
Yeah, kind of like the quintessentials, maybe just to like interject them every so often to kind of break up the list of these kind of like much easier games. But hey man, your list, play what you want to play. No judgment here. That would be.
There's no Metal Gear, which is obviously.
Well, I would rather someone just not have it at all than just grind zeros and Peace Walker. I find that more of an insult. But
dipping your toe in and
going no. Yeah, I only play Peace Walker and Grand Funerals.
So like definitely like God of War, Bloodborne, those kind of games aren't on there.
And even something like Horizon or Spider-Man, like those kind of like even easier platinums if you're kind of geared towards that. I would say maybe start mixing it up, and have one big AAA or a game like that every couple of smaller kind of easier games. But yeah, look, still pretty damn good list, and you're obviously going for it in the past 2 years. So we'll move on to the last one, ZoutjeNL. So if the Fly didn't give it away and the NL, maybe the Dutch. I think he may be Dutch. Hunter completionist, avid guitarist, quality.
Yes,
over quantity.
And actually, we didn't mention it earlier, but this episode is kind of like a catch-up episode, nearly.
This is our trophy collection review backlog challenge.
Yeah, because we did. We recently said that we were going to kind of switch more to the Discord, which is definitely our intention because it's hard to keep track of everything across multiple platforms and multiple sources of people submitting accounts. But we definitely did miss a few people, and I know that these 3 people in particular we missed, which we're obviously we didn't intend to miss at all, and sorry for that. But we wanted to catch up and just especially thank everyone who continues to watch and who's been commenting for so long. Which these three people definitely have been kind of long-term viewers. So that's definitely kind of our intention. And so we know Zoutje just from comments and Discord and stuff. I know at the moment, unfortunately, suffering from a bit of an injury, so I think maybe recent playtime has been kind of hampered by that.
That must suck ass as a guitarist. Like to be a musician and to have any kind of long-term injury, especially something that requires as much dexterity. I don't know the extent of his injury. It's not up for us to hypothesize on a public video that I wonder what's wrong with his head.
But I know that so say for this is a really impressive account. You can kind of tell straight away. It's very
and I mean if you say quality over quantity, you got to back that shit up. And I'm assuming by a quick glance at the trophy cabinet, I see Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2, which again you don't see that trophy out in the wild too often. The platinum.
No.
So as someone that has it as well, I'm like, respect, man, respect. And also I can play guitar from Rocksmith 2014. No, this is a platinum only a fucking guitarist could get, or this is hardcore. But we'll go into the list here. There's 67 ultra rares, more uncommon than common. I'm just going to quickly look at the stats before I look at the games. 42.
Well, Rocksmith is interesting because you actually need an actual guitar for it rather than a peripheral.
None of that rock band shite. This is the real stuff. So again, quite
I'm partial to both,
Yeah, sometimes I just want to feel badass. I'm playing all the notes wrong on the drums. Like I was always putting the drums because I play drums. Like, why isn't this it should be a real kit? So this is a new account as well. So this seems to be to get 70 platinums. What was the first trophy 2 years ago?
Yeah,
but to already have 67 ultra rares. A really good average rarity. This is like the opposite of microsamm's approach.
Yeah, two very different approaches with accounts that are kind of at the similar age. So you've got microsamm, who's got triple the amount of platinums basically, but then the average rarity of course on Zoutje is down at 42%. So two different approaches to playing to trophy lists, but both of them
equally
have
as
their
valid,
merits.
I guess. So
exactly.
we'll see what's here. First of all, Plague Tale Innocence. Really want to play the game. I'm obviously going to have to wait in the PS5 version because the PS4 version wasn't included with the PlayStation Plus games.
Yeah, not cool, guys. Not cool.
I was very surprised at that. That's a new one. That's a new one. That they didn't give.
It's very unusual. Yeah. There's been actually, just to touch on that a little bit. There's been kind of rumblings about the Ghost of Tsushima DLC and the director's cut one, because you have to actually pay for PS5 features if you have the PS4 version. So you don't get things like the haptic feedback and the resolution bump if you don't actually pay for it, even if you own the PS4 version. So some kind of anti-consumer-y moves there with the generational differences.
I would say just blatantly cheeky. I think that it's more like, let's just see if we can just chance it, because they built up so much goodwill from that game, and they're kind of getting heralded almost in a similar vein the CG Project Red back when The Witcher 3, they're the good guys, the Legends mode for free, they gave new costumes in the new game plus, they're the heroes we need. And I'm just look, I trust very, very few companies, And when I say that, I don't trust the company itself. It's more the individuals. So for me, Rockstar was very much the Heiser brothers.
Yeah.
With something like A Way Out, that's very much Joseph Fares. These are the kind of people, Kevin Levine, BioShock. It's more like individuals, but if you just Sucker Punch are great. I don't necessarily agree with that because I didn't think Ghost of Tsushima was this absolute masterpiece. Very, very well made game, very competent, beautiful aesthetics, but just mechanically speaking, the combat just in Legends mode you kind of had to like go about a slightly different way. But I just thought overall, I just think it's quite cheeky of them to immediately abuse the goodwill that they built up, or at least chance something like that.
To me, it seems strange because, like, and I agree with you definitely, but I think it's strange that they would give away something like Legends mode for free, which was, in my opinion, the best part of Ghost of Tsushima. And then
charge for haptic feedback.
Charge exactly. And like the argument there is that, of course we have to, of course we should support developers when they bring out new features and new content. But to give Legends mode for free and then lock haptic feedback behind a paywall is very strange, because I could understand if they locked the new island behind the new DLC levels, basically the new content there behind a charge. That makes 100% sense, and no one could fault them for that.
Don't give them ideas.
Yeah, but so like, the middle ground there could have easily have been everyone. If you play the PS4 version on the PS5, you're going to get these features like the haptic feedback and the resolution and everything. But to go to this new island is still a charge. And I think that would have been perfectly fair. But then to say, you don't get haptic feedback unless you pay the 20 quid upgrade charges, if it seems a little bit silly.
As I said,
but anyway,
cheeky bastards. Anyway, we'll move on. Straight away, the only 2 Assassin's Creed games that I have on my list, so respect.
Yeah, I don't have Brotherhood.
Yeah. Brotherhood single player was very, very good considering like the very quick like development time. Mm-hmm. Now we've got Batman
1 and 2
Asylum.
BioShock.
1 and 2 the remastered, which I still think you really need to play BioShock 2, man.
I know.
Really need to
keep
play
telling me.
Crash, we've got Dark Souls 1 and 2.
I see everyone, just about BioShock 2, I see everyone still talking about boosting the turrets. So I don't know, am I super enticed to play that game?
Well, the remastered version, I think that's not an issue. I think. Let me just see. No, great. No,
it sounded like it was still.
Protector Trials, Minerva's Den. I don't think so.
I don't know.
No.
Anyway,
there's no online in the remastered. So if you play the remaster, and Minerva's Den is one of the best DLC ever made. Just want to say that. So I'm assuming
all the Crash games is very impressive.
Yeah, it's super impressive. Yeah, I like that the first trophy is basically training.
Yeah,
that's kind of like apathetic. First trophy. I'm assuming that Soji will go to Dark Souls 3 at some point. We've got the new God of War Hob, which again I don't know.
I don't know that game. No, I'll have to look into it.
I've never seen that before.
5% rarity indicates it's very rare. And there's another one up there as well, Crossing Souls.
Yeah, Crossing Souls. Yeah, I've never seen that either. Quite a cool font. God, it's amazing the amount of games that are out there. There's some like really, really like impressive games to be getting like in the space of like 2020, like Nier Automata, Spider-Man, Life is Strange.
Monster Hunter 1, like World and Iceborne. That's incredible. Like
that's crazy. Yeah. They're fair time sinks. Jesus, and then like stuff like Oddworld, which is Resi 2. Rocksmith 14. I'm going in. 25,000. 19 recent players. I'd be curious to try that. I'm very aggressively mediocre at guitar, but I think that's definitely beyond me. We've got
Likewise.
The Last of Us 1 and 2, Spiral, The Witcher 3, 100%. Always love to see it. And for me, it's just really nice to see a Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2, like Platinum. It's one of my favorite series. Tony Hawk's Underground is just one of the most important games of my teen years. It just forged so much in terms of like my music interest, just my knowledge of skating, and it's just I love the story mode, the creative modes. Like, it's just such a pivotal game for me, and also like Tony Hawk's 2, and just all of them are great. So I loved seeing it. The series getting the kind of treatment it deserves after a bit of a decade in the wilderness. And it was a great return to form. It's just a shame that essentially the company that made it has just been absorbed into Blizzard. So we don't know if there's going to be this is similar treatment for 3 and 4. This is why we kind of good things. But look, if that's the last hurrah for Tony Hawk's, I'm okay with that. Not okay with it, but at least it went out with like a real banger of the game, and not whatever the fuck that Pro Skater HD collection was. Good lord.
Yeah.
So all the Uncharted's, you're currently working on Yakuza 0. I'm just gonna see what you're missing here.
Yeah.
Complete the final chapter. Okay, so you're on the first playthrough, and then I'm guessing you'll be doing the Legends 100% completion. Also, yeah. So you're at that kind of cleanup stage, which, all the equipment parts, that's so goddamn tedious.
Yeah.
It'd be an excellent plan to get.
I'm always so close to playing Yakuza until I hear anyone talk about Yakuza trophy lists.
Look, if I can manage it, I think you will have absolutely no problem.
I don't know. It's just, I suppose because there's so many of them as well. I'm always like, which one do I even play? Which one do I choose?
Zero would be that's a prequel, so you can start with 0 and just I think that's a very good entry to start because it like.
But often, like for me, I find prequels are like I don't like starting in prequels because prequels are made with the intention of harping back to the
characters. Yeah. I know what you mean. I know exactly what you mean. But I think, like, I don't know if I'll hop in and do the others.
Yeah.
Just yet, but I think like once you kind of pass, I think Yakuza Kiwami is like the hardest one or the rarest one. I think there's more of a onus on like Mahjong and stuff. But 0 was an excellent game. It was one of my prized platinums, especially in the past couple of years. But there's no getting around just the time aspect. You just have to put the time in. Like, there's no shortcut to that game, and just the wealth of mini games that you need to get very good at, and the arcade games and stuff. Like, it's a monster of a platinum, multifaceted, like 2 playthroughs and stuff like that. But anyway.
Yoku's Island is the very, very last game, which is a game I always advocate for. It's a great fun game, very well made, fun little game where you play as a little bug who's carrying around a ball and is a postman and does pinball. So
you said it's like one of the craziest games.
No, it's really good, really well made. I'm looking at the stats here as well. 42.3, which is almost identical to my trophy rarity as well. Got 4.4 trophies a day, which is similar to some of the, I think it was BeautifulTorment. It was at 5 trophies a day. It's there's a lot of gaming, definitely.
Yeah, 4 seems to be more sustainable.
Well, I'm nearly at 3, over the course of my 13 years.
4. But again, it's quite a new account. I think there's some not too many easy games, but I'd say that Soja, it's a case of he's probably played a lot of these games before. So to go into them, you know exactly what you need to do in regards to the platinum. I'd say there's very little wasted time. should I say.
Seems to
and
be
you
the
can
case,
see
yeah.
the effect of that hand injury. May, no trophies. June, no trophies. And July, no trophies. So the progression's just come to a screeching halt. So I really do genuinely wish you a Platchum get well. I would high five you, but it might lead to further injury. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Do
forego
like
that.
the elbow thing, you know.
The elbow
maybe.
thing. God, it was my elbow
Yeah.
as well. You inconsiderate asshole.
Yeah.
So quite similar to me in terms of like literally just playing every day. It's amazing if you play like an hour in the evenings that it just kind of it looks very balanced. Trophies by day. But look, all I can really say in this is why haven't you finished Yakuza? No, like in terms of like a brand new account, this is like very, very impressive.
Yeah,
great,
very
great mix
impressive.
of games. You got some heavy hitters, some kind of lesser known games, and just some like as you said, Monster Hunter World and Iceborne. Like Jesus.
Yeah. Well, look, it's I hope it's an account that continues to grow.
It will.
Because I know, especially when you've been out of like getting trophies for a number of months, it can be pretty hard to go back. You know, you might have kind of lost some drive or motivation. So, but I know that ZoutjeNL is definitely still active in commenting and stuff like that. So probably raring to get back into the swing of things. And we wish you a very speedy recovery. Hope you're back to fighting form very soon.
The only thing, the final thing I'll say is like possibly the best trophy milestones I've ever seen.
Oh, I didn't even check.
10th Platinum God of War, 20th Neo, first Platinum is Rocksmith.
Yeah.
Conquer of a New World, 30th Platinum, then 40th is Dark Souls 2, 50th is The Witcher. 2,500th trophy was the Platinum for Monster Hunter World Iceborne. So I think that this is curated. You obviously know when there's like if you're close
Definitely
enough to a
curated,
milestone.
yeah. Absolutely.
And then to finish it all off at the top, fish sticks.
Kanye West would be proud.
Excellent. Oh, I'm a goofy. So yeah, look, excellent, man. Again, I'll only echo what Dan said. Get well soon and get back to, I don't know, working on this crazily good list. That's
so
crazy,
three very, very different lists that we've looked at there. We've got a list with 1,300 ultra rare trophies. We've got a list with nearly 200 platinums in less than in 2 years, and then we've got this beautiful curated list with nearly 70 platinums, but completion across the board. Crazy to think that all the accounts we've looked at today, the lowest completion rate is 96%.
Yeah. What an amateur.
Pretty... yeah.
No,
like
yeah,
I'm sitting at just over 90, like myself, and I was really proud to get it over 90. But there's some.
I think going over 95 is just a different beast.
Yeah,
especially like with BeautifulTorment over like such a long period of time, because like his account could be considered retro at this point. It's
exactly.
like being
there's
through
people
it all.
playing these games who weren't born when he was getting platinums.
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah, like his account's a teenager, so that's pretty crazy. Like microsamm and ZoutjeNL, like kind of like the opposite ends of the trophy hunting spectrum going on.
Yeah.
But
making
as you
a
said,
bolt out the gate.
Yeah. I think that's all we have time for this episode of Trophy Collection Reviews. So we'll hopefully be back pretty soon with 3 more. I would say we're probably going to close the submissions thread on Discord pretty soon. Just so we can guarantee that we're going to get to everyone who's taken the time to leave a comment in the Discord. I think that's only fair, because I think if it's like an endless line, I think that just doesn't benefit anyone.
No, it's not great when because it's just false hope. Then at that point, not that anyone should be like super hopeful for us morons talking about their list.
Idiots.
But still, you know, yeah, I will definitely close off the submission soon because I think we're nearly at about 50.
I think yeah, we will reopen it again now, you know, but I think for those of you who are with us, you know, you're the OGs, like, you're the trophy accounts that were created 13 years ago in regards to our channel. So I think we both personally really want to make sure that we, you know, take the time to look at, you know, your accounts in particular.
Yes, yeah, that's true. We want to make sure that we're paying back all the kindness and the support. So yeah, and like I said in the Discord, but if we've missed someone who is, you know, still active but who submitted a really long time ago, please let us know.
Yeah,
just DM us directly or whatever.
Yeah, just message us privately on Discord or leave a comment below, or just whatever suits you. Maybe an email might be too formal, but
yes, or a letter, a wax stamp,
or a platinum wax stamp would be cool, wouldn't it?
Like, coming soon.
Coming soon, a Platchums platinum wax stamp.
Yeah, we've already
for all your waxing needs.
Patent pending.
I want one.
I know what to do for your birthday.
Or can you imagine like a pen with just a platinum stuck on the top, or like the platinum clip that you on the top? Mm-hmm. We should brainstorm ideas. We're geniuses.
We should.
Geniuses. Anyway, thanks for watching this episode.
As always.
Creative ideas.
The Dragon's Den.
The Platinum's Den, like. Platchums!